Moonlight, 16, though I didn't actually see it live. I know I'm one of the few people on earth who didn't. I was at a drive-in theater. And of course, I remember 1963 when the Tress went down. That's a submarine that sunk with 129 aboard. The war was constantly, hammered away. It was just every night was the war. Of course, for good reason, Kennedy being shot. I was in Mr. Nelm's 7th grade English class.
Kennedy being assassinated. And I went to Catholic school. I was in 6th grade. They all brought the TVs and we watched it. And I remember crying. Schools closed, work closed. It was like the country shut down. And then the moonwalk, I remember that.
I love pizza. However, the story about the pizza is that it was in 2nd grade when we lived in Merrick, and there was this place around the corner called Don's Pizza, and I would not eat pizza. And my parents and my sister literally held me down in a chair and force-fed me a piece of pizza, and that was the end. After that, pizza became my mainstay. Hot dogs, bologna. I can't eat bologna anymore, but I loved bologna back then. Potato chips on a sandwich, doesn't get better than that.
I liked almost anything, but because, my mother cooked and that was it. She wasn't going to cook anything else. The thing I hated was tapioca pudding because my brothers told me it was fish eyes in there. Fish eyes didn't help, and the reason they did that was because they wanted mine. So I wanted to be a teacher, and for a little second I wanted to be a nun. In regards to our children, it would be Brett dying. I was the one who found him. His girlfriend told me he was there, and I tried doing CPR and calling the hospital at the same time. And I felt like it was my fault because I couldn't save him.
Same would be Brett, I have flashbacks. If I could go back and I already had a note in my pocket that I would put in his pocket, or even take him, kidnap him, take him somewhere for till that day passed, because time says you can't do that. Yes, I always think about that. We aged 10 years immediately, 15 years. We were not the same people. We were just, our house was like a tomb. That's how we had Michael and Heather move back in with Sophie for 6.5 years because the house was just dead. I mean, it was just, and everywhere you went, you saw him because, we lived here and it was everywhere. It still is. I have certain restaurants and certain streets I will not go down. I have not yet. Full of life, very daredevil. He did everything I guess I would have wanted to do. I mean, chasing alligators and all kinds of crazy stunt driving. Extremely strong. I mean, he would carry the whole thing of shingles up on the roof himself, like when he did roofing.
He's such a good baby. I mean, he never woke up at night. And he was just a joy, and he had very curly hair. So whenever I see now somebody with curly hair like that, it just makes my heart get a stab wound in it, because I hope it's Brett, but I know it's not. He would defend Michael, because when we first moved down here, some kids jumped Michael. As a matter of fact, it was a sheriff's son. some other kids. And they had Michael, and he pulled all those kids off and got Michael out of it, because Michael was not a fighter.
He would back down from nothing.
He always wanted to do what Michael did, even since, he was little. And he wound up riding a two-wheel bike way before Michael ever did, because he saw the kids riding them in the neighborhood, so he got on his. I love you so much, and I'll see you in heaven.
She felt I was spoiled, But she was very smart, and she went to college at 18, so and she never came back. Well, we got along as kids. My sister's very detached, very. So I'm not. I get emotional. She's just matter of fact about everything. Like, you know, be the worst thing.
Kenneth, who's the youngest, he said that when I was born, my oldest brother, Bobby, just like would walk me around in the carriage like he was really my protector. He went into the Navy in '65, left the house in '61. So I was only 9 years old. I barely remember him at home.
Tons of friends. I mean, you know, quite a few. I mean, I go through a whole list. Probably Mr. Sanders. He was the wild one. He would take us on those crazy field trips.
Because I went to Catholic school, I wound up having 2 friend circles because I had school friends and then I had neighborhood friends. Mrs. Rice, and she was my 3rd grade teacher, and then she asked to have us for 5th grade because we stayed in the same group until after 6th grade.
My cousin and me used to fight over Net Funicello when we watched Mickey Mouse Club. And he always won, of course, but we got into fistfights who was going to marry her. Marcia Lorenzen, I remember Marcia Lorenzen. I actually went out with her. So she was like, I thought she was the most gorgeous thing.
In 1st grade, I loved this kid named John Dietz. He was in every grade of mine, every class, through 8th grade, and I still had a crush on him. And then we went to the same high school, and I still had a crush on him. So it was the same kid, and I didn't date in high school. I was very quiet. I wasn't like I am now. I was 18 after my 1st year of college, and since I was driving and wanted my own car, I needed to get money because my father said he couldn't afford to pay my insurance. So I got a job at, you would never know this, W.T. Grant, which was kind of like a Woolworths, and I sold lamps. The 2nd year I went back and they gave me a summer job again, and I worked at like the hot dog stand, and I smelled like hot dogs all the time.
Newspapers, I did that first, but then probably the first legitimate job at 16, I worked for Hickory Farms, which was a chain of stores which sold cheese. After that, I went to Weber's. And that was quite an experience. That was an Army-Navy store. That's where she stole all the clothes.
I stole like 3 things.
They literally loaded this bag every time she'd show up. I actually would follow her.
Away
I would follow her around the store. So then someone had to do something else, and they'd take her down to the jean department downstairs and load them up.
The purse wasn't that big.